Hey people, hi. I know it's been a long time. I'm so sorry. Um, I've just been having a hard time keeping up with um, YouTube. I'm telling you, this is YouTube is can be challenging, but I'm here now, and I have something to share that I believe would be very helpful for a lot of people currently. I feel like a lot of people are in such a tough space right now where they started out the year expectant, started out the year thinking, okay, I'm going to see everything that God has told me to look out for, God has told me to, pray for, believe for. And currently right now they're at a discouraged place where they're just like, I don't see anything. It's been month after month after month and I've seen no change. I know that I've been in that same space too, where it's just been like, okay, so Lord, what's happening? You told me to look out for this, you told me to expect for this, you told me to pray about this. I don't see anything, Lord. And it can be a very discouraging place to be. However, I do believe that this revelation that I've been given will help to, it won't make it easy, but it will just help to better discern what is happening. And I think that it will make the journey easier, right? And so most of what I will be sharing will be coming from the book of Exodus. I'm not going to be reading through all of the chapters. I'm just going to highlight certain ones and read through some of the ones that I think are important. But quick backstory on this particular story that we're focusing on. It's God's rescue plan for the Israelites, right? They had been held captive in Egypt for a very long time, and they had cried out to God, and he had responded by sending them Moses. And first he sent Moses to Pharaoh, right? And we see, starting from Exodus 7, where Moses has to go before Pharaoh and instruct him to let the people go. But then God proceeds to harden Pharaoh's heart, and he refuses. He doesn't let the people go. And immediately what I started to see from that is, just when they think things are about to move, when they think that things are about to happen, the situation got harder. And it progressively got harder, because each time Moses went to Pharaoh, God hardened Pharaoh's heart. And time after that, he was sending Moses to go before Pharaoh and asking him to command. And I'm pretty sure that that's how most of your situations have felt, where you have month after month, you have gone forth, you have spoken what God has told you to speak, you have prayed, you have gone out believing for an outcome, because God has said to you, go look out for this outcome, go believing for this particular thing. And you go out and nothing happens. In fact, you don't get the result that you want, and it gets harder. There's a parallel there. Can you see how, just like with Moses and Pharaoh, God is setting things up? Because here he says that in verse 1 of chapter 10, the Lord says to Moses, return to Pharaoh and make your demands again. I have made him and his officials stubborn, so that I can display my miraculous signs among them. I have done it so that you can tell your children and grandchildren about how I made a mockery of the Egyptians, and about the signs I displayed among them. And you will know that I am the Lord. So God hardened Pharaoh's heart because he wanted to display his glory. He needed them to see the extent of his power. And not only that, he wanted his name to be spread wide. Right? Because it wasn't only Pharaoh experiencing the plagues. It was all of Egypt experiencing the plagues. All of Egypt got to experience this powerful, powerful God, right? And, you know, I think about like people's situations right now, and even mine sometimes, and you might be in a place where you just feel like everybody's looking at you and they're wondering, what are you doing? Where are you going? What is happening to you? Like, what is going on? And it seems like there is an audience watching your demise, watching your hardship. But consider this. Could it be that just like God was setting this thing up so that all of Egypt could hear of his good name, so that all of Egypt could experience his power? Could it be like that in your situation, that he is hardening your situations and making things seem harder because he's setting up an audience that will get to watch and see his miracles in your life? He's setting up people to see his hand in your life, to experience his glory through your story, right? So then we fast forward to Exodus 14. And here, Pharaoh, after having been hit by so many plagues and to the point of losing his first son, he was tired already, and he was just like, okay, fine, just you guys just leave. Just go. But then, what do we see here? God causes Pharaoh's heart to be hardened again, to the point where he chases after the Israelites. And what does it say in verse 4? And once again, I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase after you. I have planned this in order to display my glory through Pharaoh and his whole army. After this, the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. Right? But what did the Israelites see? Because now here they were faced with a hard situation. They're looking ahead of them. There's this huge sea that they're not able to cross. And then they look behind them and they are being chased by the full vengeance of the Egyptian army. Right? To them, they felt like, okay, like we cannot catch a break. Where literally, not only have we cried out for help for a very long time, now we think that we're about to get some help. We think that things are about to move, but now we are now stuck in this hard place. We're not able to go past this point, right? And we have these things that have been chasing us, these people that have been chasing us for a long time. But what they did not know is that not only was God trying to deliver them, he was trying to destroy the things that had been tormenting them, the thing that had held them captive. God was trying to destroy that. So because the Israelites did not know what God's plan was, we see that the reaction was that of panic. Right? In verse 10 of Exodus 14, it says, as Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? When there are enough graves for us in Egypt, what have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you this would happen while we were still in Egypt? We said, leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It is better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness. What they could not discern in this situation is that just a moment ahead of them, there was going to be this beautiful big miracle that would not only set them free, but that will also destroy the thing and the people that had kept them captive. But because they could not see that, they panicked. How many times do we find ourselves in this type of situation? And I'm speaking from a place of, I just had my own moment last week where I thought I found myself in a place where I was just like, okay, Lord, I did not ask for this calling. I did not ask for the promises that you gave me. I did not ask for any of this that has put me in the position that I am in. I was just minding my business, and you handed me this, and yet I feel like it seems to only be getting worse. How many people can relate to that, where you have looked around and you've just been like, okay, this is much worse than I was off before I said yes to Jesus. But how would you respond if you knew that right ahead of you, just a short while ahead of you, there is this big production of a deliverance, a big production of a miracle that God is setting up to not only deliver you from that thing that has been chasing you, or that thing that has held you captive, or that thing that has held you bound. Not only is he trying to deliver you, but he's also trying to destroy all these things from not only your life, but the lives of your children and your generation to come. What is it that has been chasing you? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? Is it insecurities? Is it bitterness? Is it relational issues? Is it family issues? Whatever it is, what is it that has been chasing you? Whether it's been for a short time or it's been for years, and it's been coming at you and it will just not let you go, just like Pharaoh. How would you respond if you knew that God was planning this big thing that will take it all out? No matter how long it's been coming after you, but that he's planning this thing that will take it completely out. Right? So I don't speak from a place where I feel like it's easy. I'm aware that it is hard and it can be discouraging when there seems to be no movement. But that is why I bring this revelation as encouragement, because that is the purpose of revelation. It is to shape our perspectives differently. It's to bring us to a higher perspective, to be able to see from God's point of view, to be able to see from an aerial view, instead of just being stuck in the now, being stuck with just this small picture of your here and now experience, right? So if you are one who this resonates with, let me say to you what Pharaoh was definitely not saying this. Let me say to you what Moses said to the people of Israel. Don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rescue you. The Egyptians you see today will never be seen again. Just allow the Lord to fight for you. And that is the best place to be. Understand that if you have cried out to the Lord, understand that if you have made him your refuge, and he has heard your cries, and he will come. He is absolutely going to come, even if you don't understand what things look like right now. So I really do hope that this brought some kind of insight into where you are and what you're dealing with right now, and that it just helps to make things a little bit easier, because when you know and when you can discern what God is doing, it is much easier to walk forward in confidence. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys whenever next I come on.